Well, hello, fellow peasants and worker underclass, to our educational segment on electric clutches and you. They are electric. They are clutches. They go on your lawnmower. They're not adjustable. Haha, to you, punk, but to me, just another thing to fix. So, I hate YouTube lawnmower mechanics. They suck. They're parts replacers. They're not real mechanics. Ha ha ha. That'll get someone angry. Good. I don't care. Anyway, so this is for your deck. There's a reason I'm doing this video, because people don't know this one. This will save you some money. All right, just electric clutch. Look, the motor goes on that side. Your deck belt goes on this side. This side always stays in one place because of that little spot right there, a motor mount. So this one always stays solid and never rotates. This one generally doesn't rotate, but there's a little secret here I'm going to show you. Okay, you see, this is what's going to blow your mind. This is one giant electromagnet. That's it. It is a solenoid. That is it. Okay, so the video is over. No, I'm messing with you. All right, hold on. Watch. Okay, that's what it's supposed to sound like, and that is what it's supposed to do. Awesome. Now it's in focus. Thanks. Anyway, so our point on this one is these fail one of two ways. Super simple system. What is going on with this damn phone? Well, you know, whatever. Okay, so auto adjust on a phone is a waste of time. Anyway, so one of two ways, generally speaking. But before I forget, always do the bearings in the top and the bottom here, which means you can pull the outside shield on this and re-grease, but the top one's usually not the one that takes the beating. It's the bottom one, which I'll show here in a minute. So you pull the shield, you grease it, or you can press them out and replace the bearings. All right, so don't forget that, because it'll save you $100 and $120. I don't know, it depends on how much they are. These used to be really expensive, which is why you learn how to fix them. So there's only one of two ways. One is the big wire wrap called the solenoid fails. That's all that is. It's electromagnetic. Lots of wires, electricity goes through it. It pulls, it creates a field, and it pulls this clutch face into this clutch face, and it becomes a solid unit, and that spins. That's it. That's all there is to it. So let's look at this. In the old days, these used to be adjustable. They had ears and springs, and you could adjust the gap inside there. So when you click in your clutch, when you pull the PTO switch and you hear it go, clonk, clonk. No, it should be quick, always quick. Sometimes it gets impacted with crud and crap in there, and you can blow it out and it'll be okay. Usually around the inside of this case right here. Rust is the other thing. A lot of rust on any of the faces will ablate and diffuse the electromagnetic field, and it will not work. Okay, so if this thing is humming like it's going out of style, like it's a battery charger, that's not good. That's not supposed to be like that. However, now this is just on 10 amps, just to show you. You should barely be able to hear it, and you shouldn't have any gap in there, right in there. So now the other thing is, for the purposes of this, it's tore apart, and I'm going to show you how to tear it apart, because this is going to be important. Let's roll you over. You see right there? This is where the brakes go, and this is what holds all of this together, because it holds on to that right there. And this is for the bolt that goes through into the engine crankshaft that pulls it together. This holds the top piece, the top section in. So out you go. There's you. And I'm not going to do it because there are 2 magnets right there. But they literally go right in there and hold on to that lip. Okay? And they are brakes. See that? That's a brake. It helps slow it down. All right, so that's that. So let's move on. And there is your bottom bearing. So you can pop the shield out and grease it, which I did because this one was dry. What? You can take them apart. That's right. Step 1, clean all of this. You can do it however you want. Now, these are non-adjustable. So when they start to get a little old, you can see it's starting to get pitted. When they start to get a little old, the electromagnetic turns on, and it pulls this face into this face, making a clutch. Okay? That's nice. Time to wash my hands again. Anyway, so the magic part about this right here is that you have to clean it. You can clean it however you want. You can even sand all this down. There's a reason you should and maybe might sand these down, as I'm going to show you. The reason you might do that is because you want to change the unadjustable distance between the clutch faces and the electromagnet to be adjustable. And how do you adjust the unadjustable? You find a way. Okay, so here's your solenoid. That's all it is. This surface here is simply to stop this surface here from going too far. Okay, that is to keep a distance in between the solenoid and the cage. This cage, this is important on the inside. You have to clean that up, and you have to clean the inside edges up as well. That affects the electromagnetic field. It gets extremely weak and defrayed when that is not clean. Okay, when that is rusty and everything else. Now, how to make it adjustable. Again, when this starts to get a little bit weaker and starts to draw more amperage, because it is just a fucking electromagnetic solenoid, well, you can sit and grind this down. Now, you're only talking a couple of thousandths. I don't remember what it is on these, maybe 6 or 8 thousandths of clearance in between this clutch face and that clutch face. Okay? So, attempt to remember that. Or actually, why did I do that backwards? Why not? Why not do it backwards? This and this. All right, so one way of doing that is to modify this. And one way is to modify this. Now, the way you can do it super simple without having to do anything dumb is you set him in there, and you take a file of your choice, and you run it on the inside edge. Well, this is just uncomfortable. Right here. Okay? And what you're doing is just wanting to take that down just a little bit. Okay? It's your call. Oh no. And it didn't work to begin with, so you're not going to lose out if it doesn't work now. Now, guess what? This sits on the inside edge of your bottom bearing. I'm going to blow your mind. If you're wanting to bring that closer to this to make it easier for the clutch to pull it in without dragging, not too much, well, you do the same thing here. Now, I am lazy, so you go like this. While it's running. Okay, so back to bringing this closer to this. Well, I just showed you can do that. You can do these. Right? You can clean all these up and make it just a lot easier. All right. And then, of course, remember this right here, this lip is directly relatable to the gap between this clutch face and that clutch face. Simple as. So you put it back together, push it down. Let's see if we'll do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. And there you have it. This one wasn't working at all. That is why I took this apart. And that's going to save $100, $120. And with, you know, prices the way they are, you know, people charging fucking $90 an hour to work on this stuff. I just showed you how to do it and it'd take you about 20 minutes. You got to pull it off the mower and everything and then take it apart. So, and it was literally, in order to take it apart, you just have to grind the rivets on this back side and you pull your brake out and then you begin to take everything apart. Now, a lot of times these will be froze up like he was, the adapter. As you can tell, he was froze in. I had to beat him out of here. But that's okay. We'll clean him up in a little while, put him back together. Anyway, so, don't know about you, but this super simple system. It's not complicated. If it was complicated, they would not make these. It was expensive, super expensive. They would not make these for mass production. Okay? I'm just saying. There's literally nothing to these. Two pieces of metal that get pulled together by an electromagnet. That is it. This is a solenoid. Nothing more. That's it. That is literally it. So, I polished him up. I'll re-clean the inside here in a little bit. Alright. He goes back in. And then, of course, polished him up. Not a lot else you can do to that side of it. Ingenious little devices. Super fucking simple. And super cheap when you think about it to produce. So, there you go. Consider everything's automated when you make these. Alright, and that is it.